G'day guys, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Well, the day has finally come. The Minecraft for PlayStation 4 edition has finally stopped being updated and has been replaced by the Bedrock edition. We all knew this was coming sooner or later. Um, but the sad thing is, I've got to say goodbye to my worlds. Um, Mostly because this edition has broken a lot of things. So, what I'd like you to do is come with me on a tour of what is my final survival map I was working on. I did a lot of experimentation in this, and I did this so I could try and find out what farms would work, whether I could farm mobs and villagers, and to get iron and all this kind of stuff. And it was a hard slog. It went through all the updates up till Village and Pillage, which was the last one, and that's where we were left. So it's unfinished, I will say that. I'm gonna straight up gonna come up with that because I didn't finish a lot that was going on. But basically, this was my base. It started off as a little doorway into a cliff. Might have seen it on a different video, maybe, I don't know. If not, this is what it became basically, and it used to just be like this was a hole in the hill, and it was a couple of doors in a room, and then I changed it. So this door broke in the Bedrock edition. I'm just going to point that out straight away. Really annoying. I just put my bed here for now because it's just like a temporary place. I've played a lot of Call of Duty lately, so I'm struggling. So I've got this huge aquarium in the middle. That actually didn't break. In fact, that fixed the issue that I have with the fish. They stick to a glass ceiling. I put a glass ceiling in an aquarium in the PlayStation edition. You can see them all up here. I only lost like one or two, but all those turtles in there, and I got all the squids. So, and then you got the big beam going up the middle for that. This was going to be my living quarters, and here I was going to put a whole bunch of villagers so I could trade with them. I made this staircase so that they could get like upstairs to bed and downstairs, and I tried to make it so that it was villager proof, so a villager couldn't hurt themselves on this. There was no way to kind of jump over unless you got a Elytra, which I just did, but there's no way to kind of jump over and get up too high and then hurt yourself. So this is where they were all going to go, and then yeah, I really started with the 2 levels below. It used to be like a secret passage that would lead into this floor down here. Oh, it's just easier with water elevators. So this is like my farming floor. I tried to make a floor which had all mini farms, and I'll show you what works, what doesn't work in the switch to Bedrock as well. Just before I do, I'll just show you just down here. It's just my storage room. So this was the main reason I did this, was so I could build this thing. And it's meant to be like, I just had overflowing chests everywhere, and I didn't like getting rid of stuff. I find it's always handy. It's always handy to keep every single block you ever mine. I don't know why anybody would have a dump pit. So this here, this is an automatic wheat farm. I sort of came up with this. This broke in the update. But basically what happens is nighttime comes. Someone's in a water stream somewhere. Don't worry about that sound. Nighttime comes, it washes all of the wheat into one hopper, and then underneath this hopper is it's an item separator. And it takes the seeds, and I'll have to show you. I'll show you anyway. So there's like all the wheat. It's kind of proof. I know it doesn't really prove much, but trust me, that was all done by this guy. So oh no, dude, no, just stay in here for now. Just stay in here for now. Just stay in here for now. It's all right. Yeah. So those are the dispensers here, and what happens is the seeds get separated from the wheat, like you see. So all the wheat comes into these 2 hoppers, and the seeds get separated from the wheat, and they get chucked into this dropper here, and you see it's got seeds in it. So all these seeds have come from the farming. So this is what makes it infinite. This guy never runs out of seeds. What happens is that every day he comes over to his composter here, but he's standing on the pressure plate when he does that. So when he does that, it's a really delayed tick, but that's what I want. I didn't want to have too much, and it just spits seeds at him. So he's constantly replenishing his inventory. And this worked all the way to the end. You can see some of this is pretty new. It works really well. It's yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fun design, that one. Oh, whatever. I don't think autosave's on anyway. What else we got? Oh, this is the automatic potato farm. This only works on the PlayStation edition because they let slabs block light. But you could do this with just a flat wall, and I'm almost certain this still works. It's only one row of dirt. It's like 8 blocks long or something, and then there's just a minecart hopper underneath these 2 blocks. It's too dark for that seed lantern at the end to light these 2, so they just pop off, and then literally all of this came from him. And the same with the potatoes, exact same functionality there. This guy will go to bed when the sun goes down, it's not a big deal. Here's a mushroom farm. This is fairly common. It's just 2 strips of mushroom underneath each wall. That probably still works, as far as I know. This guy will be broken. This is Bob. He basically is attached to this, and every time you hit the button, he changes his trades. And that's a PlayStation only thing. But you could just get whatever books you wanted, basically, and then infinitely spam sugarcane. So I got the sugarcane farm here. It's more than enough. And same with this cactus farm as well, which just pops off on glass blocks. So they'll work. That'll all work. This, some of this broke. This is just a, whoops. Just an auto smelter. Just spits it out. It's like 16, I think 16 or 32 furnaces in a row with all hoppers and stuff. So it does like 16 at a time. So yeah, it's pretty fast. It's fast enough, put it that way. This is not automatic, but this is a cow breeder. This is the only non-automatic farm here, where you actually have to interact with it to collect things, and literally you've just got to breed these cows. This is an old design, it's nothing new. The babies pop down there, and literally, I can even show you. So down there, so this hopper is where all of the steak goes, but basically these cows fall down this pit here, and there's a carpet that's on fire, just here. But the fire doesn't appear on the carpet, it appears above the carpet. The fire tickers off. So you can only do this when fire tickers off. You could probably muck around with lava blades and things, it'd work as well. But basically, these guys are completely safe until they grow up. And as soon as they grow up, they turn into steaks. And it drops in here. So, oh, I might actually be able to show you even. Can I feed these guys? Oh, I don't want to... Just take my word for it, I guess. We don't have time to hang around and watch that in action. So yeah, there was just a few different like automatic farms. Oh, the sheep farm, but that'll still work as well. The wool farm, sorry. He's all the shears are gone, but I don't use all that wool, so. And this is a classic design. Worked in the PlayStation edition. I hope it's still going. It's a fantastic way to get chickens. It's funny, you just got to balance how many entities you got in these places. This farm here, this is actually outside. This kelp farm will break entirely. This only works in the PlayStation edition as well. Because kelp, otherwise it'll create water sources. But this uses like sloped water to collect kelp. And I've got a video on that as well on my channel if you want to check it out. So it's constantly flowing. So this just unobstructs like a water pipe where they're all coming from. Pumpkin and melons, they grow. It's the when they're grown, they can actually transfer the signal into the piston, pops it off. Hey, Enderman. That's pretty much it. So it wasn't complete, but it did the job. This was still, I was still learning how to play Minecraft when I started this. So there's a few things that are just kind of weird and unorthodox. This is the nether, but I haven't really done anything here. I've gone to the end and finished that, but I didn't build anything there. There's just tunnels here to like the end portal and stuff, but when you go there, there's nothing different. I actually reset the end, and I had to do that. Oh, look, there you go. You see him collecting his seeds, and it's put all of the wheat into here now. But because I had the window open, all the wheat and the seeds came out. But that's not a big deal. I will just put that prismarine right back. Alright. Put that wheat back in there. But outside I did build a bit. So, not a huge amount. It's just like constant experimentation, and I think the next map that I start on Bedrock will be just all kind of next level from the beginning. Like experimented with like building giant structures. That was a turtle farm over there. That there is my iron farm, and it works, or it did work at least until I built it too close to the villages in here, and unfortunately at some point it all became one village. As long as you build it far apart, it's fine, and I'll show you the proof. And this is literally so easy to make, like super easy. Have I got scaffolding on me? I can use prismarine, I guess. But up here, so these are the chests, and in here, I've taken all the iron out and made blocks out of them, but you can even see the residual that's in there. So that's iron from golems being produced by this, and it's a fairly, like, it's an old school style that's nothing new really, but making it work on PS4, I don't know, you can't scare the villagers or anything like that. None of that worked on the PS4 edition. So what I did is I put them in cells with beds facing the center, and then the thing you got to do is make sure that cats can't spawn up there. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've got plenty of rockets, thank goodness. So I don't know if this still works in Bedrock. I'm going to say no, because the villager behaviors are different. This is the guy that's attached to my base. Ruined my iron farm and a bunch of other things, but you get the point. It made me more than enough iron that I needed. And I built this because it was like, I needed for those hoppers for that thing. It's your standard giant creeper as well. He doesn't do anything special. This here was actually, I used to have a villager breeder until the last update broke it. That was a villager breeder here. Which is why I put the iron farm there, but that used to be a villager breeder way back in the day, and I'd ferry them all off into this building over here, because it's outside of the spawn chunks. And so you can see now, like, as soon as I get here, all of my frames just lag. I never finished this building, because it was going to be a gigantic trading hall, but of course, the update broke the ability to kind of do that. So the reason I'm so laggy, you can even see through the window, it is full to the brim with villagers. I set it up so I had like an automatic villager farming system, and you can check that out actually on my channel. I did show it off, where you could just automatically just propel villagers, but it's no real point anymore because it doesn't work. But for a time it was pretty handy because I had a mending villager in here, and back in those days, which wasn't even that long ago, but that was like pretty important. So I'll go in here, even though, like, excuse the frames, it's pretty embarrassing. But I can at least show you what's going on. I think they jump out. But check this out. So these all these cells as well, I locked them all in. So, and I was just going to start sorting them as I went. Look at these guys. These are all left over from the last PlayStation edition. So I had like unlimited villages as well. So that's how I was able to pull them. And yeah, the water stream used to come all the way down here all the way from my base. It was pretty sizable too, I will say. But this meant that they were safe. Like, nothing spawned out here because it was outside of the spawn chunks. So I didn't have to worry about zombies getting them or anything like that, because they basically just didn't exist while I was at my base. Alright, so a couple more things to show you anyway. So there, you can see how much stuff it's already broke. Things like, so that door not working, for instance, my front door doesn't work because pistons don't spit out blocks anymore. The PlayStation version was very similar to the Java version, like that. If you sent it like a single tick, piston hit, it would spit the block out from the piston, but it doesn't do that anymore. So this was my mob farm. I actually built a working mob farm in the PlayStation edition, which I didn't think was going to be possible, but I gave it a shot. And this is, you've all seen this one. Il Mango, I don't know, Psycraft, like originally, like years and years ago, long before I played. But this works, like it actually does. But this mob farm doesn't work for a couple of reasons. First of all, mobs don't spawn on these platforms in the Bedrock edition, and I think it's because they're too high. The platforms are very high up. I'm nowhere near the ocean. I did that on purpose so that Oh, I've got to hit the switch. Did I hit the switch? No. There you go. So then, yeah, so these pistons spitting out these blocks, they power all of these dispensers and stuff, so it's literally just a big line of pistons. I made it super easy. Didn't need leaf blocks or anything. Just spat out the block. So every 2 turns, basically. So now if I fly away, and I did have an AFK spot and it worked pretty well, but if I fly away and come back, you can see, like, mobs start to spawn. And so I tried to test this. I was like, oh, I'll leave it overnight and I'll just put a few chests there and see how it goes. It's not a huge amount right now, but yeah. You can just sit down here and it works pretty well. So I'll sit down here and explain. But yeah, they fall down here and then all the drops collect there, and I made a little switch here. There you go. And it's fine that I can just sit in here. Oh, it would collect them, of course, but this is like fucking full to the brim. So that's what happened. I just waited overnight and I put 1, 2, 3, 4 chests down, and I was like, okay, it's only half the size of like Il Mango. So I'm like, so it'll just like collect some and it'll be fine. But nah, it's full. It's totally full. The minecart's full. The whole thing's full. I'll turn that off, really. I love how much of the... Yeah, far out. I do love how much of the... There you go. That's how that works. That's how it's got so many drops. Yeah, it's crazy to think that... Yeah, it's so close to the Java edition, the way that it works. It made things a bit easier when it come to this. Like, look at that. This produced so many mobs, and I tried a few different mob farms, and none of them worked. This worked a treat, absolute treat. So it's a little bit different. I try to design things as lazily as I can, really. This is all glass because I didn't want anybody spawning down here, but I tried to make it so that I didn't have to time anything here. Oh, shit. Well, he's ruined that, hasn't he? Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, you're kidding me. My leecher broke. That's annoying. In the middle of doing your video, how do you not prepare for something like that? That's alright. I'll show you the last thing anyway. Because this broke as well. This broke completely. And it's swimming distance away. So I can have a little chat with you on the way. I'll tell you what's coming up. So what I'm going to do anyway is just start a brand new world from scratch. And I'll try and just stream all the progress if I can. Which is also why I haven't started it yet. I want to get into a nice rhythm. And it's Christmas time at the moment. So it's not the best time. So I think in January... just start streaming every single one. If I have to wake up early in the morning or whatever I got to do, but I'll get it done. So that my new world's got a progress like that. So this is my Guardian farm. It's not super great because I didn't know how sea temples worked, how they spawned Guardians and things, and it was a little hard. Things like you can't just put a bed of soul sand; they won't spawn. Whatever reason, so I had to do like this checker plate soul sand floor. But yeah, you see the design. It's basically just a big square with ramps of water that come down over these fence posts, and they scoop up all the guardians into this death tunnel. But you can see there's guardians that hang out outside of it. I didn't capture all the spawning area, but I know for next one at least how big the spawning area is now. I found another sea temple and tested it, but there you go. This is how I got a whole bunch of like shards and sea lanterns and stuff, but also this is how I'd repair things. Wasn't the... Like I really was going to get another beacon basically. Oh, that sound. I just want to charge my Elytra. There's no sweeping edge, which... Oh, is that in Bedrock? Oh, I think it's Java only actually. But yeah, It did work. It did work. If there was trouble with them spawning, they weren't spawning properly, I'd like come over here. Or I'd like... I think I dug this tunnel as well. Why did I dig this tunnel? And it was really to try and force spawns. I guess. What is this? Oh. No. Been here. But I found that if I like vacated the area and came back, it would help the guardians spawn, because sometimes they'd all spawn outside and they'd kill all the spawns for the ones in the chamber that I wanted. So that was to try and despawn the ones that are out on this side, basically. So by the time you get over here, these guys start flowing down the pipe. And my leech was fixed. Alright. But yeah, this broke. This broke in the Bedrock edition, so... there's no point to hang on to this one. I had a lot of fun with it. There's no point to finish it, though. You know, a lot of it was just experimentation. There's a lot of things I'd do differently as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting some, like, decent builds on. I've got a plan in my head for how I want it to go. And I want to just not, like... I really want to commit to it from the beginning, so an example of that's going to be, like... Why was I floating? An example of that's going to be, like, digging mines. It's not just going to be a straight, like, 2x1, and I'll try and make, like, actual decent mines and do some proper cave exploration and things like that. But that's in the future. You know, all things said, I'm pretty proud of this world in the fact that, you know, I could get some things working that were otherwise pretty hard to do and pretty hard to find information on. So getting the mob farm working, getting the iron farm working especially, so I could have these iron blocks just chilling around, you know. Getting this door working. I did this without a tutorial, this door, just because I wanted to, you know, see if I could do it, see if I could figure it out. And it works, and it's not super complicated. It doesn't need to be, because it's got that gravity block in it. But I really like that gravity block effect. This aquarium I'm pretty proud of. It's gigantic. And this, like, even so, this, like, big structure that I've actually built here, I'm quite proud of as well. All in all, good learning experience. Definitely helped me grow to love Minecraft even more. But I'm really looking forward now to taking this into Bedrock Edition. Starting a whole new world from scratch. And yeah, having some fun with the game again. So yeah, if you're checking out this video and you watched all the way to this point, thanks, dude. Very much appreciate it. You've made my day. Like, one view on my videos is enough to make my day, believe me. If somebody enjoys something that I produce, it's like, you know what, that's all that I need. So thank you. And hopefully I'll check you out when I start the Bedrock series, which, let's say January, but you know what, it may even be before that. You'll see it when it pops up, because I'm going to stream the whole thing on YouTube. Oh, that's my kelp farm, by the way. There you go, bonus for the extra there in the end. This is just basically a slope water kelp farm. Only works in the PlayStation edition. So, anyway, catch you in the Bedrock edition. And speak to you then, I guess. Cheers.